South Africa is a unique country with a unique political landscape. Over 70 candidates are expected to take part in this month's election, but much like being asked to list the names of all the teams in the Premier League and First Divisions, I think it's more prudent to focus on the top four. Now, the top four in South Africa right now are made up of three guys that used to be on the same team and one guy that became the captain of his team after years of being a water boy. And that's not a play on the water issues in Cape Town. My name is Ashwyn, and it's time for Second Take.
Say goodbye summer and hello savings with WB. Buy 2 liters Sunpick cooking oil for $64.99. 5 kg Sugar King white sugar for $87.99. 2 kg Nam milk or Myre for only $43.99 each. Huggies Dry Comfort jumbo packs for $199.99 each. And a pack of 8 1-ply Twin Saver toilet rolls for $42.99. Stay updated with the latest deals and more at www.voermanbrock.com.
DA leader John Steehuisen started as an ordinary Democratic Party predecessor to the Democratic Alliance activist before he became a branch member. Now, at the age of 22 in 1999, Steehuisen was elected to the then Durban City Council as the DP councillor for Durban North. He was the youngest municipal councillor at that time. Fast forward, the 47-year-old who received 83% of the vote at the Democratic Alliance's National Congress last year was running against the former mayor of Johannesburg, Mpho Phalatse, who would have been the second black leader in the party's history. So DA was basically like one at a time. Just kidding. Or am I? The Democratic Alliance was formed in 2003 after breaking away from parties that historically were part of the apartheid government. It became the official opposition following the 2004 general elections and steadily grew its support until 2019, where it suffered its first decline in a national election under the leadership of Mmusi Maimane, its first black leader. Well, one at a time might make sense now. Just kidding. Or am I? So, DA is going with what it calls a rescue plan from the ANC, seeking to create 2 million new jobs to end load shedding and water shedding. Because, they aim to halve the rate of violent crime. Not sure why you wouldn't want to eliminate all crime when you have the highest crime rates in the world, but I guess half makes sense. To crush corruption by abolishing cadre deployment. This, of course, assuming that corruption has nothing to do with the rich elite of the Western Cape. To lift 6 million people out of poverty, even though there are 18.2 million people currently living in poverty in South Africa. But it seems like aiming below the line is the DA's chief strategy. Perhaps that's why Cape Town's water issues aren't going away. They keep bringing a bucket to a water tank fight. The DA also wants quality healthcare for all, especially considering the constant pain in the DA's chest, Julius Malema and the EFF. During the 2021 elections, the ruling ANC fell below the 50% threshold for the first time in democratic history. The DA won 20% of the vote compared to 24.6% 5 years before, losing votes to EFF. So it makes sense that Steehuisen said that it is time to unite to defeat Julius Malema, even though Malema is not ruling the nation and does not have the number that DA has. Who has more numbers? The ANC. And DA said as recently as March that they would not rule out a coalition with the ruling party. His mixed messaging locally has not been present, though, when it comes to their international policy, because as South Africa takes Israel to court for alleged genocide, the DA remains in support of Israel, which makes things tricky because Israel was in support of apartheid and Nelson Mandela himself was an advocate for the freedom of Palestine. Of course, the DA is free to support any international entity, but that does not absolve them from what it means to South Africans as they head to the polls. Let's see how this one unfolds.
Introducing 061 Express, brought to you by Synergy in proud partnership with Vintuk Express. Here's your chance to make your voice heard to celebrate the businesses that make Vintuk exceptional. From your favorite coffee spot to the salon that always gets your style just right. It's time to shine a spotlight on the gems of our city. Over the next 8 weeks, it's your chance to vote for your favorites to recognize the best of the best. Nominations open on the 25th of April and close on the 5th of May. To nominate your favorite business, simply save this number 085-785-6231 and WhatsApp #061Express or scan the QR code below and follow the on-screen instructions. By nominating your favorites, you're not only supporting local businesses, but you also stand a chance to win your share of 50,000 Namibian dollars in cash. The voting process will be the same as the nominations process, using the Synergy chatbot and the #061Express. Voting opens on June 5th and closes on June 23rd. Make sure to cast your vote for the best of the best. The winners will be announced on June 28th. 061Express, celebrating the heartbeat of Windhoek. Get ready to make your mark.
Now, as I get into my second take on President Cyril Ramaphosa, here is a Reuters report on how Ramaphosa is doing ahead of the May 29 election.
South African President Cyril Ramaphosa vowed on Wednesday that his party remains committed to improving the lives of workers and ensuring freedom in the country. Speaking at his party's African National Congress May Day rally in Cape Town, he is gearing up for a general election on May 8th.
Now, over the course of the last 30 years, we have worked to give fulfillment to what was set out in the Freedom Charter. We have done all this largely because the workers of our country united and said that we are going to ensure that we win our freedom.
The ruling ANC is facing declining support amid economic stagnation and corruption scandals that have tarnished the party's image over the past decade. Ramaphosa called for another ANC majority win, despite many accusing the governing party of failing to deliver on promises. If the ANC gets less than 50% of the vote on May 8th, it would have to seek coalition partners to govern, potentially including nearest rival, the Democratic Alliance and the EFF. Ramaphosa also doubled down on South Africa's long-standing support for the Palestinian people amid the ongoing conflict in Gaza.
And give rise to
South Africa brought a case to the International Court of Justice in December, accusing Israel of genocide in the Gaza war. The ICJ ordered Israel to refrain from any acts that could fall under the Genocide Convention and to ensure its troops commit no genocidal acts against Palestinians. Israeli President Isaac Herzog called the ICJ case atrocious and preposterous.
South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa is a wealthy politician with a net worth of around $450 million, known for his interests in fast cars, vintage wine, trout fishing, and game farming, #Phala. And of course, that disarming smile. A year after leading the ANC, he became South Africa's president with a promise to combat corruption following his election victory, to which South Africans and former leaders such as Thabo Mbeki said, LOL. Some history. Ramaphosa was a prominent trade unionist before the ANC's rise to power after the end of apartheid in 1994. He was instrumental in drafting South Africa's post-apartheid constitution, one of the most liberal in the world. Despite his achievements, Ramaphosa faced disappointment when Nelson Mandela, South Africa's first black president, did not appoint him as his deputy. As a result, Ramaphosa sulked and pouted and withdrew from a governmental role and focused on business, retaining a presence in the ANC's leadership. You know, just in case. Imagine having beef with Nelson Mandela, especially during the time of his release. Because while all of us were praising Madiba and what he symbolizes, Cyril was essentially sitting in the corner with a bombastic side-eye. While the world was celebrating Mandela, Cyril was basically like Kendrick Lamar to Drake.
It's always been about love and hate. Now let me say I'm the biggest hater. I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk. I hate the way that you dress. I hate the way that you sneak this. If I catch flight, it's gonna be direct.
We'll be back.
Hallo Namibia, ons is by die kus en ons is lig.
Away by the Easter shark.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes. Please, today you make sure that we are fed. Sorry, it's
Connection. It's in the human touch, the feeling of belonging. It inspires us and empowers us, creates clarity from complexity. It starts new conversations, unlocks the power of advice, and makes an impact on your life. At Alex Forbes, we pioneer insight to provide you with advice that connects your decisions of today to your impact tomorrow.
All right, let's get back to the smiling President Cyril Ramaphosa. His business activities attracted controversy, particularly during the Marikana massacre of 2012, when police killed 34 striking miners at a platinum mine owned by Lonmin, where Ramaphosa was a director. His involvement in calling for action against the miners faced severe criticism, marking a potential betrayal of his trade union roots, and by potential, I mean blatant. More recently, Arthur Fraser, former chief of South Africa's State Security Agency, filed a criminal complaint against President Cyril Ramaphosa at a Johannesburg police station. Now, he accused Ramaphosa of money laundering and concealing a crime. This linked to the reported theft of $4 million from Ramaphosa's Phala farm. In a thrilling display of democracy at its finest, the ANC flexed its parliamentary muscles and promptly squashed a motion for a special investigation into the Phala farm forex saga. With a whopping 204 votes against a mere 135 in favor, the ruling party reminded everyone who's really in charge of maintaining oversight and ensuring accountability. Apparently, by ensuring that nothing is overseen and no one is held accountable. If anything, this resounding defeat showed that the ANC takes its constitutional obligations seriously enough to swat away any annoying investigations that might lead to uncomfortable questions about farm-based financial mysteries. After all, who needs a parliamentary probe when you have a supermajority to keep things in check? It's like democracy, but with a few extra steps to make sure the doors to transparency stay firmly closed. Now, before we zone in on South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa and the ruling party in South Africa, here are my 2 South African Tik Toks of the week.
The following group of people that appear here should be registered and going to vote on the 29th of May 2024. You don't have a choice. Number 1, you receive your salary this week. Next week, you're already looking forward to the next payday. Please go vote. Number 2, you have Eskom's push app installed on your phone. Please go register to vote and actually go vote, because does it make sense to take turns to use electricity that you paid for? It doesn't. Number 3, you use Capitec, self-explanatory, that one. Number 4, when you want to bath, you switch on the geyser. After you bath, you switch it off. Why can't it stay on forever? Register or vote. Number 5, you want to certify your ID and your qualifications so that you can find a job. But those documents, they expired before you were able to find a job. Again, you need a government that is going to create employment and also support businesses so they can grow and thus create employment. Number 6, you have a subscription landlord, your Netflix landlord, your Spotify landlord, your DSTV landlord, and you get angry when they don't pay on time or when they remove you. Please, the power is in your own hands. Number 7, you qualify for 350 years, so that one explains itself. And number 8, you're watching this video and you're worried that your data is finishing. It's not looking good for you. So please, guys, everyone who's mentioned here, please, we need you guys to go and vote and make a change. These are top 5 greatest South Africans of all time in no particular order. Number 1 is Kabza de Small. That guy had the country dancing at its worst moments. During COVID-19, we were dancing and enjoying ourselves because of Kabza de Small. Even now, we are still dancing. That guy is literally the greatest music producer this country has ever seen, and I'm willing to fight anyone. Number 2 is Brian Habana. Do you know Brian Habana? You should be ashamed of yourself if you don't know who Brian Habana is. That guy literally outran a cheetah. I don't need you and your YouTube video to tell me, no, technically he didn't outrun it. No, I know what I know. If Brian Habana tells me he outran Usain Bolt, I believe him because it's Brian Habana. That guy could do anything. Number 3 is Naledi Pandor. That woman stands on business. Naledi Pandor is like watching a player that you love play for a team that you hate. Like you wish that team can get relegated from all divisions and get liquidated because you hate them that much. But there's this one player, man, that you love so much. You wish your team could sign that player. That is Naledi Pandor. Number 4 is Ketwe Buthelezi. She moved from the Bundus to Gauteng to work as a cleaner for Ubutau. And then she ended up where the owner of Sitkalo Court, the face of La Chocolate. She had a 9 to 5 at Ashwyn Communications. She literally showed us what the South African dream looks like. Number 5 is Mandoza. My man was this close to ending racism. This close. If God gave him a few more years, I'm telling you, he would have achieved Mandela's dream of a rainbow nation.
We are all seeking connection to each other, to the world, to the spaces we exist in.
Poor sportsmanship right now from the lads.
You might be physically ready, your body is ready, but mentally.
Here's another chance, and it is a goal from Vindo
Wys, hy sê die is er aan neertrek en daai bal het my grond gevat. Ja, hy het grond gevat en is
but just enough next.
Running that mountain up. Okay, so we will be doing this for the mountain climber. More advanced, slightly advanced.
So is jou trolley reg? Want
I love it. I love it. So then we
kickstart our countdown at number 5 with this one.
Op Netwerk TV se Klets Kompas gesels ons nuus van 'n Maandag tot Donderdag. Ons kyk ook na die weer en meer. Stories wat jou raak en stories wat saak maak.
They've made a mistake in denying me bail, and they've made several other mistakes in many other cases.
The channels that teach us something new or reflect our expression. So it goes beyond switching to the right station. It's about choosing the experience that can adorn the present, dressing it with our tastes as we
expand our preferences, because what we are actually connecting to is boundless, limitless human energy. And this is the spirit of NTV.
Attention kids, we have some exciting news for you. We are back, and this year we are planning on going big. So listen up. If you are in grade 3, grade 2, grade 1 or pre-primary, we are bringing your free school workbooks to you soon. This is all you need to know about where you can find your books. Books will be available for free in Republican street sale newspapers and all Namibian Sun newspapers. And for all pre-primary kids out there, your books will be delivered to your school in all 14 regions of Namibia. And there's more. Pre-primary books will also be printed in 9 different languages. Check out when your book will be available from the schedule right here. That's not all. Our free online school is there to help you along the way with video lessons and more books to download. You can also follow along on NTV every Monday to Friday from 9:30 to 11:30 for your daily online school lesson. We thank all our sponsors who are helping to build a brighter future for Namibia. Contact us at info@acdtrust.com and follow us on Instagram.
E-Ticket, your online ticket solution for events and event marketing, bringing you ease of mind and making sure that your event gets out there. For more information, contact events@nmh.com.na.
Now, despite his early popularity, Ramaphosa's presidency has faced significant challenges, including the apparent rising of corruption within the ANC. You would think ANC mastered corruption enough to call it a day, but alas, they keep sharpening their skills. Ramaphosa is also dealing with a stagnant economy, high unemployment, and his toughest political opponent thus far, load shedding. These factors have contributed to public discontent, with the ANC's electoral support declining in recent elections, not to mention the resurgence of former President Jacob Zuma and the challenge posed by his allies, reflecting Ramaphosa's inability to deal with corruption within the party. Now, the emergence of a coalition government will be critical in determining the future of South Africa's political trajectory and the ANC's continued influence. The question for South Africa is this: transformation of the powers that be, or changing the hands of power? Is South Africa ready to embrace the unknown, or has the ANC done enough to deserve yet another second take?